Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to be able to address the esteemed members of the Lydiana Management Association. I know that you're here because you're leaders in your community, and probably you got there because you have a great education behind you. And you know how important education is for all of us, for our children especially, so that they can build a strong future for themselves and for the community. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the education opportunities available in Manitoba. Now, you have many good institutions right here in Lydiana and in the northern part of India, and you might be wondering why we would be talking about study opportunities in Manitoba. Well, the answer is pretty simple, and the answer is globalization. By having your students, your children have an international education experience, they will have different perspectives. They will learn new things that they're unable to learn in their home territory. So I'll just tell you this very quickly. In Canada, we have over 17,000 students studying from India right now, and only 365 of them are in Manitoba. So I think there's a lot more room for students from Lydiana and from northern Punjab to come to study in Manitoba. Now, when you come to study in Manitoba, one thing to be sure about is that you're getting a Canadian education, and that's very important for you to know. Canada has an excellent education system because education is a priority for all the governments. Education is a provincial responsibility, and so we have 13 departments of education, not just a single one. Manitoba, as you've already heard, is a geographical center of North America. And it also has 4 seasons. And that's a great experience for your children to have. They will have a lot of cultural experiences when they come to Manitoba that they couldn't possibly have here in India. We have a great economy. It's very stable. We have a high standard of living, steady economic growth, and a high employment rate. We also have abundant energy, mineral resources, and agricultural resources, and a highly skilled workforce. But we have room in that workforce for students and for citizens of India to come and live and study and work in Manitoba. And finally, the most important thing I think for you to know if you're sending your children across the ocean to Canada, to Manitoba, is that it's very safe and it's a very welcoming environment. It's a very multicultural environment. We even have a new museum that will be opening soon, which is the Canadian Museum of Human Rights. So here are 5 points that I'd like to make. One is that it's very safe and welcoming. We have a quality education, abundant options, opportunity to succeed, and finally, value and affordability. And I understand that the Indians in the north area of India are very astute, and they look for a good value. That means good quality and good value. We welcome lots of newcomers to Manitoba, and if you see on the chart, you'll notice that the blue is indicating the newcomers from India, and it's steadily increased such that newcomers from India are the second largest group coming to Manitoba. So we have a very strong and vibrant Indian community in our province. So the Canadian education system and what you would receive in Manitoba is a quality education. It's highly responsive and student-centered. It achieves a consistently high standard. And the way that we do that, the institutions, the educational institutions in Manitoba are all funded by the provincial government. They also have provincial oversight. So we don't have low quality and high quality institutions. We have a uniform quality of institution. So you can be sure that you don't have to look for a ranking because all of our institutions offer a high quality program. They offer international perspectives because our classroom and our curriculum is enriched not only by students from India, but from China and from Brazil and from Russia and all over the world. It's a multicultural environment. The credentials that the children learn in Manitoba are globally recognized. And you should know that Canada in general funds education very, very highly, more than most other countries in the G7. So just to tell you a little bit about the ranking in terms of what the OECD does when they test students on 3 areas, what we found, and the results show that Manitoba and Canada has better results than other English-speaking countries. And you'll see from this chart, in mathematics, science, and reading, Canada is in the top 10. Now, I know we all like to be number 1, but we can't all be number 1. But if you notice, we are number 1 in something. And that is, we're number 1 in the highest English-speaking country. So I know that most students from India would like to receive an English education, and you can get a very high-quality one in Canada. There's many options for students to choose, and we really encourage students to take responsibility for their education and for their choices. And so they can choose from programs, they can choose student supports, different types of accommodation, and very wide variety of extracurricular. Also, our institutions range from full provincial university with all the faculties, master's, doctoral programs, and postdocs. We also have University of Winnipeg, which is an urban campus and offers a very small environment where students can really get individual attention. We have colleges, such as Red River College in Winnipeg. They have 9 campuses around the province. We also have a college in Brandon, which is more of an agricultural college, and that also fits very nicely with what Bonnie was telling you about agriculture in our province. We have transition and pathway programs, we have technical vocational institutions, and language programs in English and in French. And one of our post-secondary institutions, the Collège, it's changed, Université de Saint-Boniface, offers complete education post-secondary en français. So there are opportunities for your children to succeed when they study in Manitoba. They have access to an affordable, quality, and internationally recognized education. Our tuition fees are very low. They have actually been on a tuition freeze for many years, and we're starting now to add a little bit to that, but the tuition rate is very comparable and much cheaper than you'll find at, for example, UK or US. The students will have access to supportive professors and opinion leaders and decision makers, such as the ones you see here. Opportunities for co-op education and work experience. We know that's really important because it's one thing to learn in the classroom, but until you actually apply it, and that's what you people are doing. You're here and you're successful because you're applying your learning. And we want our students to be able to apply their learning while in a work situation while they are still studying. And there's also opportunities for students to continue to live and work in Manitoba. And of course, we would really be very proud and pleased if some of the students decide to stay with us in Manitoba, despite the weather. But we know that many of them will return back to India, and both ways are important, because then we end up with friends here in India, friends of Manitoba, and in Manitoba we end up with friends in India. So, work opportunities, I know students are always very interested in that. They can work during their studies for up to 20 hours a week. They can also work full-time during breaks. They can work on campus or off campus. They can work in co-op programs or internship programs. And they can also have post-graduation work opportunities. So getting down to business, Manitoba value. We have some of the lowest tuition and cost of living in Canada. We have free provincial health care for all international students. That means as soon as your children leave here and get on their way to Manitoba, they are covered by the same health care benefits as I have, Bonnie has, and Premier Selinger and all the rest of us Manitobans enjoy. So we extend that to our students from international destinations who are studying in Manitoba. We also have entrance scholarships for undergraduates. And here's the last one, a great opportunity, a tuition rebate program. Now this works when your students begin to work in Manitoba and start to pay taxes when they fill out their tax form, they can claim up to $25,000 in tuition against their taxes. So in return, they'll get that money back, as long as they live and work in Manitoba. So I think you can see that we really would like to have your children consider Manitoba as a place to study and maybe to work as well. And this is what we like to tell the students who come. We say, you're going to be proud of your Canadian qualifications. You're going to see them as a passport that opens your door to the rest of the world, whatever that door is that you want to open. We promise them that they're going to have a unique cultural experience in a safe, diverse, and multicultural and very beautiful and clean environment. We promise them that we will guide and equip them and provide them with whatever opportunities they need to go where they want to go, all while respecting who they are today. Because in Canada and Manitoba, we believe that you and your children who come to study with us can help us make and build a better world. These are the institutions that are on our mission: Brandon University, Red River College, University of Manitoba, University of Winnipeg, and we do have a representative from the University of Winnipeg here today, Mr. Terry Duguid, and just wave at the back there. So if you would like to speak with a representative of the University of Winnipeg, I encourage you to do that when we have a little break. And also Winnipeg Technical College. So if you'd like to find out more about study in Manitoba options, we have a little brochure that explains all the things I've been talking about. We also have a website, and so I encourage you to come and have a word with me when we are given that opportunity. So thank you so much for your attention, and goodbye.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. All your slides in your presentation were very informative and very encouraging, but one in which we were hoping Indian children to be amongst first, and at least in math and science, if not reading. Anyways, the next presentation is by Mr. Ben Rample. This is on immigration. Mr. Ben Rample happens to be Assistant Deputy Minister for Immigration. Just a quick word. Although we haven't had any disturbance because of mobile phones so far, but just to preempt for the rest of the program, I would request everyone to keep the mobiles off.